Bear down, Chicago Bears. What in the absolute French fried fuckaductory is going on with the cameraman for the Chicago Bears? Have you guys seen the pictures that are coming out of the Chicago Bears going into this 2024 season where we've got the Roma Dunze and Caleb Williams, not the only ones, by the way, having these funny ass pictures being taken for the Chicago Bears Twitter account, X account. I call it whatever you want to call it. Just call it something. You know what I mean? But it's getting super funny, and there's some very very cool pictures that are happening over here. And I want to say that this picture is I think there's a couple of them actually, and I think they're mocking. I want to say like the one from Pawnee, Indiana, or whatever the silly movie was the TV show was called. You know what I mean? Like just some wild stuff out here happening, which look, I find it to be funny. And I think and I love the fact that they're actually comfortable enough to see Step Brothers. There you go. So it this is one of those times where you really appreciate the fact that the Chicago Bears long been a little too serious, a little too finally starting to loosen up a little bit, I want to say, and not be so dead ass serious. So we're gonna look at those pictures. We're gonna go through them, and we got a couple of reports, and then we'll probably wrap this up as a pretty slow. If you like this type of content, though, by the way, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe button, bell to be notified. Look, it doesn't cost you anything to hit that like button, and it helps me out tremendously to continue to push this up in the algorithm. But I need your help. You guys watch. You guys pay attention. Please make sure you hit that button. Helps me out. So let's get into it. The first thing is first. These are the pictures. Now we've got the claw, which is we talked about this one the other day. This was the original claw moment where Caleb Williams seems to be really into doing this thing right now, and he I think he even makes little funny faces when he does it. So I think he thinks that that's a pretty funny thing. And we've got Roma Dunze, as you can see. Most of these pictures are actually pretty good. These are not horrible pictures by any means. So when I say that, and I'm talking about that, there are some funny ones out there. We've got Karan out here putting his on, and I mean they look really good so far. You got Austin Booker out here posing. You got Caleb posing it out. You got Tremaine Edmonds showing up. Now, this is, by the way, one of the things that we're going to be covering in just a little while. There are some schedule releases. We don't have everything, but we've got a few things that will tell us a little bit about what the schedule is going to look like. We don't get an announcement for another about 12 hours ish, maybe 10 hours. We'll get the announcement of what the schedule looks like. But we got number 15 Roma Dunze. Tossing the football around. We've got Roma Dunze using the claw again. And then we've got the then we've got the wildness of these silly ass pictures right here. Then we've got the aura picture of Caleb Williams. And then before that, we've got Kieran making his debut, signing his rookie contract. We've got them building chemistry. We've got Cole Kmet coming out here with the David Corn sweat Superman hair. Uh, uh, we've got Kyler Gordon, the Spider-Man, out here showing out. Look at and this is a little bit of this is the set that they were working on with the lighting and the systems, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of an idea of what's going on. We've got Spidey out here now doing his big jump move to look like Spider-Man, which is actually very, very cool. And then you got Cole Kmet and DJ Moore doing the same stepbrother picture as well. And I got to say, if you're comparing the two, there really is no comparison. The smile on these two guys' faces is absolutely hilarious by comparison. But then you got here we go. We got Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright. We talked about these yesterday. We've got Tyreek Stevenson. We've got Darnell Wright. We've got Zach Pickens. Again, I think we're waiting for. I don't know why Gervon Dexter's not in there, but I think that we're waiting for Gervon Dexter. We got Jatire Carter is out here dancing around on this. I'm so happy and so proud. These guys look the orange and blue. They're making it look cool. And to be fair, like we haven't seen stuff like this for a long time. So and now we got Tevin Jenkins. Khalil Herbert is the one that kicked everything off. So over the next couple of days, we're going to be releasing more and more pictures from that from these photo shoots and sets, and I can't wait to see what some of these things are going to look like. It's going to be. I hope they continue the comical thing, but if not, look. Here's what matters. The Bears are looking like a team. They're looking like they're having fun. They're not taking themselves overly serious right now, and this is probably the most excited that I've been for a Chicago Bears team going into a season in a very long time. And look, it was easy for me to kind of look back and say, maybe I got it wrong about Justin Fields. Maybe the vibe on this team is now just different because everything about this team just appears to hit different, if you will, about Caleb Williams, about Roma Dunze, about everything that's going on, the way that it seems like the rest of the team is maybe not embracing Caleb Williams, but he's walking in, he's doing his thing, and they don't seem to be giving him grief. They seem to be at least rallying behind him at the moment. So this might be the magic. This might be how the magic happens for the Chicago Bears this year. Again, I told you guys it is my opinion that they're going to have a magical season. It doesn't change. 13-4. I think that they're going. And by the way, third weakest schedule in all of football. So when we say that, and Crimson says, who cares about players that aren't on the Bears? Well, we have to evaluate every player. All of the coaches are going to evaluate every single player that we're playing against and every other player in the league in order to find good steals in the draft or trades that might be available and things like that. So we're always going to focus on other people because we want to know what the other teams are doing. So, it will matter a little bit. So let's look now at the schedule because luckily they're tossing out schedule leaks on the whim right now. So and to break it down, we've got week 1. We don't know yet. We don't know week 2. We don't know week 3 yet. We don't know week 4. We don't know week 5 yet. We know week 6, the Chicago Bears are going to play Jacksonville, and they will be the home team in London, England. So we're going to be playing at 8:30 a.m. Central Time at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And it was announced this morning. It will count as one of the 9 home games this season. This will mark the Bears' 4th game in London. They previously played the Dallas Cowboys in a preseason game in 1986 and a regular season games against Tampa Bay in 2011 and the Raiders in 2019. So we've got a little bit going on. Week 7, we don't have anything. Week 8, we don't have it. Week 9, no. Week 10, week 11, week 12, no. Week 13, this is unconfirmed. However, we're getting a report that the Bears are going to be playing the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. According to NFL, Aussie NFL, the Bears will once again play the Lions on Thanksgiving, Thursday, November 28th in Detroit. Chicago last faced the Lions on Thanksgiving in 2021, where the Bears won 16-14. In fact, dating back to 2018, the Chicago has won 3 straight Thanksgiving games against Detroit. So it looks like we've got Chicago. We got Chicago and Detroit for Thanksgiving, and then coming forward into the next week, we don't have any confirmation, but week 16 also says that we're going to be taking on the Detroit Lions again in a rematch. And then week 17 is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. That's according to 93.9's KJR Dave Mahler. The Bears will host the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday Night Football the day after Christmas. It's the final Thursday Night Football game of the season. And then we have week 18. We don't have any clarity right there. However, if you go back and you look at some of these, this was the Detroit Lions schedule. There are a few more that are saying that there's a few leaks about the Chicago Bears schedule, with one of them showing that the Bears will be in their final game playing the Green Bay Packers. We don't have confirmation of that yet. We don't know that that's taking place at this moment, but we'll be watching for it to see how this breaks out. And then we had a report coming out Chicago Bears are now one of the most improved teams. The bye week was it's reportedly, but I think the reported bye week was the fifth week. Um, let's see. Here's the rumor. Okay, so the rumored. All right, the rumored bye week is week 7. So we got week 6, the Jaguars and the Bears going to London, and then week 7 is when we get our bye week, and then we got the Bears and the Lions, and then this is where it breaks down a little bit more. We've got the Bears and the Lions on Thanksgiving. Then we've got the Bears at the Vikings on Monday Night Football in week 15. This is unconfirmed at this point, but this is what it appears to be. Then we have the Lions coming back in week 16. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. The Bears going to be at the line. Yeah, no, never mind. Dude, I'm losing my fucking mind here. Lions at the Bears week 16, and then week 17, the Seahawks, and then closing out the season, the Bears and the Packers. We don't know whether it's going to be here or there yet. It was at home this last one, or I think it was it, or did we go to Green Bay? Whatever. We'll find out in a few hours. Not worth speculating on, but that's what it looks like so far. Week 6 confirmed. Week 7 potentially the bye. Week 13 apparently confirmed. Week 15 apparently confirmed. Week 16 apparently confirmed, and then week 17 apparently confirmed. However, this one's still open, so we'll see what this. We're going to see what it looks like. So, but the Bears considered to be one of the most improved teams in the offseason. So, and to break it down here, in conversation with league sources, no team was mentioned more often than the Chicago Bears as the most improved team in the league, and for good reason. Not only did general manager Ryan Poles draft generational quarterback prospect Caleb Williams, still not comfortable with that, but let's do it. But dropped him into the softest landing imaginable after trading for Keenan Allen and then selecting field stretching receiver Rome Odunze at number 9 on the heels of inking running back DeAndre Swift in the opening moments of free agency. It isn't hard to understand the optimism. Despite several setbacks last season, along with subpar quarterback play, the Bears still finished 7-10. Their defense is back to being one of the league's toughest, and their offense is arguably more talented than it's been in a decade. And by the way, anybody who tells you that the Bears defense is not that good look, I'm sorry, you're an idiot. Okay. If you have the number 1 rushing defense, and by the way, you cannot like the 25th ranked passing defense all you want. And you're right. That's the lower half of the league. We got to get better. But if you're not looking at the number 1 rushing defense saying, hey, you know what? They're actually not that bad, then you're not paying attention. Now, as Crimson would jump in here and say, it's important to consider how do you do against quality opponents? And I'm going to have to admit here that there is a struggle when facing quality opponents. Like we've got to do a better job against your Green Bays. And I think in the last game, we did a better job. We held them to 17 points versus 38 the previous time. But you can also kind of look at it and say, well, they were just kind of running the clock out because they didn't even have to punt the ball. So, did we really do a great job? Well, we're going to have to find out as the season gets a little bit closer. I think that this is a better team. So I think the results will be a little bit better. And again, we don't match up very well against Green Bay. And I would like to see a win against Green Bay or 2 wins against Green Bay. But I will take 13-4 with 2 losses against Green Bay getting into the playoffs, with Green Bay missing the playoffs or being the wild card versus us. So, maybe we look a little bit better. And I do think, by the way, that this is a better overall defense, both in terms of depth and we've got so many young players getting better and better and better. And again, I put a lot of my faith right now into DeMarcus Walker, and look, he seems to be tuned in right now. He seems to be really, really ready to play. Now, does that mean that he's even going to make the field? I don't know. Emmanuel Agba it looks like out there right now, and it looks like the Bears might be kicking the tires, and we might see him pop in here. So I don't know how this plays out. We also have Yannick Ngakoue out there, and I know a lot of you may not like it, but the guy had 8.5 sacks for every season of his career until last season, where he was thrown into the defense that wasn't getting a good pass rush. Look, we're number 1 at stopping the rush. and that's still good. But yes, we got to rush better than 25th. We got to do a better job of that. And without help, it's easy for you to double team Yannick Ngakoue, and that's happening. You chip him, you keep him out of it because you don't worry about anybody else. So you've got all these different pieces that just didn't fit, and then Montez Sweat comes in, and then the pieces start to fit. When the pieces start to fit, now you've got this better sort of cohesiveness, if you will, as a team. And now you're in a position where Montez Sweat's going to command a double team. Can Gervon Dexter take advantage of that double team? That becomes an incredible question, right? DeMarcus Walker, can he get off the edge? And by the way, I'm going back and watching some of the tapes. I'm going back and watching some of the tapes, and he was playing pretty good at the end of this year. Did it pay off in Green Bay? Nope. Did it pay off everywhere else? Kind of. I mean, if you finish your season 7-6, you're not a playoff team, but you had a winning record for that stretch of games. If you finished the second half of the season 5-3, you improved on that 7-6 by virtue of losing fewer games in that stretch. So you were a better team starting to come together towards the end of the season, and you can't deny that at this point. Now the question is, how improved are you? And if you just consider, a 9-8 team, could they go up to 13 wins? Yes. Are we a 9-8 team? We're not a 9-8 team. But I think that the improvements made across the board for this team in every sort of aspect are going to bear out pretty well. So I said bear out. Haha. So next up, it comes down to how well head coach Matt Eberflus can manage this whole process. The defense shouldn't be a problem. He will trust Shane Waldron on the offense, but it remains his responsibility to get everything executing at a high level. That will be a challenge with a rookie quarterback. Then again, Caleb Williams does not appear to be an ordinary rookie. He's considered a rare prospect that is only seen once or twice per decade if he lives up to those expectations. Chicago Bears won't be denied the postseason this time. Now, let me say something that some people on Twitter and, to anybody who will listen, keep saying, well, Caleb Williams, when you look at him on the field, he certainly doesn't look like a rookie. No rookie looks like a rookie when they're playing in the NFL. I mean, maybe Tyson Bagent looks like a rookie, but, the fact that he's dropping back and making throws, everybody drops back and makes throws. That's their job as a quarterback. So, I'm not dismissing Caleb Williams in any way. I'm certainly hoping that he has the best run of any quarterback in the history of the Chicago Bears, for real. But I don't think that seeing him make a few passes in rookie minicamp is a testament to how tuned in he is. We're gonna have to wait and see how it looks like when it's mandatory. When it's mandatory minicamp, and you're really starting to see him put a little pads on, get a little bit better, to see him, against real competition. Again, if you look great against college players, you already did that. You looked great against college players um, to begin with. So the fact that you're playing well again against a bunch of rookies, that's why you won the Heisman. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what he looks like when he's got the professionals on the field, and let's see how he develops in that context. And if that looks good, then awesome. Then we got something to work with there. But until then, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to pamp that shit down just a little bit. Now, again, the Bears with the third easiest schedule in the league. Here's the opponent win percentage, by the way. Let's pop this up on the big screen. And you can see right here, the win percentage for the teams is tied for third with the Carolina Panthers down here at 0.467 win percent. So how good of a season are the Bears? Look, the Bears are primed in every single possible way that you can think of to think that the Bears could have a fantastic team and a fantastic season. They are showing out right now with this. Chicago Bears at 0.467. Let's take a step back just a little bit. What about the Green Bay Peckerheads? They are way up here at 526. Hopefully that means that they're going to have a tough schedule. Detroit Lions are a little bit in the middle of the pack at 509. Minnesota Vikings at 502. the Bears have the easiest path of all teams in the NFC North. Now, does that mean that they're going to win? No, it doesn't. How they perform on the field, how they do on the field, that's going to be a testament to whether or not they can. However, they've got the easiest road by far, by the way, by far, because if you consider Green Bay's 526 win percentage and Bears 467, I mean, that's the entire range almost of all these teams. So hopefully Green Bay struggles a little bit and the Bears show out a little bit, and we don't have to have that quote unquote showdown at the end of the season. Um, why is Matt Eberflus still coaching? Mediocre, not the coach to take the Bears to the Super Bowl. He's had a shitty team. Every time he's had a shitty team, and by the way, he's forced his own errors. We should all acknowledge the fact that his defensive coordinator and his running back coach last year really bad selections. Luke Getzey, a very poor selection. So I think that if nothing else, Matt Eberflus is on the clock. But what you're looking for in this is not that Steve Gunjol from YouTube doesn't like Matt Eberflus. I think what we're looking at and what really, really matters more than that, Steve, is the players respond to him as the coach. The players are behind him. The players play hard for him, and that's what matters. And the question is, can we turn that passion that they have for him into wins? So we're going to find out. He's the coach for the moment. So I think that we're going to be a lot better this year. I think that again, I don't think we were ready for the season. We lost 4 games. We should have lost at least one of those. So and we were close enough that we could have won a few more games over the course of the season. There were 4 very easy games that we should have won that we were close enough. There were 6 that we were within a touchdown, but 4 that we should have won. Detroit, we absolutely should have won. The first Minnesota game, we absolutely should have won. The Cleveland Browns game, we absolutely 100% should have won. Like there's games where you just feel like you were close enough that these should have been wins. So, and I don't think the bad luck and the bad streak and the rookie mistakes and all of that, I don't think those bear out over the long term. I said bear again. But I don't think they bear out. I don't think they bear out. So I feel like Matt Eberflus came in at the wrong time. I feel like we actually had this clear opportunity to improve as a team, and we did. And we had an opportunity to fall apart and become the worst version of the Chicago Bears, and we did not. So at some point, we have to recognize and credit Matt Eberflus for that portion, and then we just have to hope that that portion, the team paying attention to him, surrounding with better coaches, all of that has to lead to something better. But as far as it goes for the Chicago Bears, Matt Eberflus at this point is a leader of men, and he is well liked by this team and well respected by this team. And that's going to probably matter more than what our opinion is, even though, Steve, you might be right. Maybe he's the wrong guy for this team. But for the moment right now, he's who we got. So I'll be on Team Flus until they start. Look, if the Bear. By the way, if the Bears start pulling a Luke Getzey again next year, and they just turn to trash, and we don't see a massive amount of improvement in this squad and in this team with all of the talent, with everything that's now surrounding this team, if we don't see it, then it is fair to say that the wheels come off on Matt Eberflus and that he's gone at the end of the season. That's the only thing that I think is going to be a fair assessment or is going to matter at this point. Like I think that we're at that spot right now where it's I feel like he's going to be fine, but I don't know. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like who the fuck? None of us really know what's going to end up happening. So I certainly want to see the most positive outcome that we can. So you know what I mean? Um, and then, oh yeah, by the way, I don't even remember what I was doing here, but I thought, I thought I saw a sad teddy bear, and I thought, you know what, throw it into the frame here, just to see what was going on. I don't have much on Twitter X because there's really nothing going on. There's not a whole lot going on other than the Chicago Bears posting some outlandish pictures of. Oh, and by the way, as we're doing it right now, Kansas football is now sharing the pictures of Austin Booker. And this right here, this is the one right here. When you see this right here where it says building chemistry from the Chicago Bears, I want to say that if you come down into this thread here, then you say, with every passing video becomes the greatest video I've ever seen in my life. I expect this trend to continue. We're winning this Super Bowl. I've seen enough. Hitting a receiver in stride is crazy. It's really a little bit. There's some funny stuff here, but in this thread here, by the way, is somebody who says exactly what I was just saying. Like, this looks like a veteran. I mean, everybody looks like a veteran when you're throwing against rookies. When you're not making the big plays. When you're not, everybody looks good until it's time to put on the heavy gear, when it's time to go to war. So we're going to see what it looks like when they go to war. And I'm going to tell you guys, and let me know in the comments down below, like, are you excited for this season? Because like I am, and I'll be honest with you, I was excited for last season. I was excited for last season because, and I told everybody, and matter of fact, you can roll the tape back to some of my original conversations starting preseason of last year. And I said, the Bears are probably not going to be that good to start off the year. They might win a few games and surprise some people. They didn't, by the way. But I said, as the season moves on, this Bears team is going to get way better. And my comparison was the Philadelphia Eagles. If you remember when Jalen Hurts came in, took them a little time to get an adjustment. They were not a very good team to start the year. And then towards the second half of the year, they started to round into their own and they started to become a much better team. And then all of a sudden, you saw this leap the next year and they ended up in the Super Bowl. Now, what happens in the Super Bowl? I don't know if the Bears have that, but look, if you tell me that it can't be done, if you tell me that it's not going to happen, then I'm going to point to the San Francisco 49ers. Then you're going to say, oh, yeah, well, we're not the San Francisco 49ers. Right. No shit. We're not in San Francisco and we're not 49ers. We're in Chicago and we're Bears. So pamp that shit down and get ready for that type of run, because in my opinion, Caleb Williams is probably going to be a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. So, you know what I mean? I mean, have a little, have a little, have a little patience, have a little faith. This whole process is going to play itself out, in my opinion, very well. I think we're all going to be super happy with the product that we see on the field. There will be bumps. Caleb's a rookie. Rome's a rookie. Austin Booker. They're going to make boneheaded plays, and you're going to be like, oh, man, because they're trying to do too much or something, and somebody's going to get injured. Somebody on that offensive line is going to get injured. Somebody on that defensive line is going to get injured. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. Rome has a hamstring injury. How long is he going to be out? So will he be ready for the mini camps? You know what I mean? Like you don't want him falling behind. However, if there's anybody on this team that I think could fall behind and still play catch up, it's going to be him, because it's about the athleticism and it's about the familiarity that he already has with Caleb Williams and their friendship, and the fact that they've been working together a lot along with John Jackson, that I think he could be injured and he could not be there for the start of the mini camp and still see a lot of significant playing time when the season commences, and he'll still be a valuable asset. So, it's going to be interesting to see. No chance of him being rookie of the year, by the way. For anybody who's thinking that Rome Odunze might be one of those lines that you just throw rookie of the year type money at and say he's not going to do it. There's too many talented wide receivers that we have in order for him to separate himself in that context. Caleb Williams, very possible rookie of the year type guy. If he gets 3,500 passing yards, has 20 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, not great, but good stats. If he comes up with some decent stats, then it's very possible that he becomes rookie of the year. So, you know what I mean? But that's it for right now, guys. We're gonna cut this short at about a half hour. I'm gonna go get that swole on. You know what I mean? So you guys have a good day. And look, this is going to be an incredible season. I hope you guys are locked in. I hope you guys are excited for it, because it's going to be time to bear down and let's go nuts. This is going to be a season to remember. That's all for today. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.